Hello, hello,
Hi
hello.
guys.
Okay, this is a good way to start. The energy is giving. And of course, Eniola didn't yab me to say, oh, I'm always saying hello, hello, hello in this episode. So we
I don't want
bless
to be
God.
predictable, so okay. Hi guys.
Wow. Okay, nice. How are you all doing?
How is everyone doing? I hope everything is going well with you. I hope
Mm-hmm.
you're safe. Life is
Mm-hmm.
not eating you too hard, and you're finding your way around things.
Yeah, and honestly, I know that it does feel weird when we say, "How are you guys doing?" and there is nobody responding immediately.
They are
But
responding. I want to believe that they are.
but what
As
sweet people would still ask. So you can leave in the comment section saying you're doing okay, you're doing all right, and all of that good
yeah.
stuff. So, but we do care. We do want to know that you
Mm-hmm.
guys are fine. Misha, adulting has been dealing with me. I'm not
Oh
even going to
Lord.
lie. It has seriously been dealing with me. I
What
don't
happened?
know. I feel like some of the things I'm struggling with is not sleeping too well. I think, and I'm one of those people where, one of those people that if they have things on their mind, it definitely affects my sleep.
What's on your
Um,
mind?
ugh. First of all, you know what? Before I go into that, first of all, it's exactly 2 weeks to my birthday, guys. Exactly 2 weeks to my birthday.
You know what?
This time in two
I was
weeks
really
is going
hoping.
to be
I
my
was hoping,
birthday.
guys. I was really, really hoping that we'll just get past this year's on without having
And
saying anything.
to be fair, I feel like I've tried for you guys. I was telling Babe about it yesterday. I was like, you know what? I think this year I've not really been stressing you guys about my
Oh
birthday, and
Lord.
you guys should be grateful. But last night, I was like, it's just one more sleep, and it'll be 2 weeks to your birthday. And I was like, you know what? I'm still going to say it. I just screamed, it's my birthday in 2 weeks, and it was just like,
I
God,
know. I can
big.
imagine. I feel so much for him. Jeez.
But I think this year, other things that have just got me occupied was where first off, I wasn't feeling too well at the beginning of, entering into March. I wasn't really
Mm.
feeling well, so that was like one of those
Yeah.
things. And then the following thing was, my mom flying to Canada, and that was on my mind as well. Like, okay, let her just make it safely. All the things that
yeah.
I wanted her to bring for me, and all of that. So that was on my mind. So I think that has kind of occupied me or occupied my
Mm-hmm.
mind. I mean, she's here now. She's been here for exactly a
1
week.
week.
Yeah, exactly a week now. And it's been good. I feel like I'm bonding with her a lot more. Like we go for
yeah.
walks together. And it's been nice. She's like helping me in the kitchen. And it feels good to have like someone helping in the kitchen. I've learned one or two tips since she's been
Okay.
helping me in the kitchen. She's like, "Oh, do it this way," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that worked. Okay, that's nice. Okay, cool." So that's been good, but I feel like I honestly wish I could place a finger, like I could say exactly at least this week what's
Mm-hmm.
been on my mind that has not made me sleep so
Sleep
well. I
well.
I, I honestly don't know. Work has been work. It's been always like how work is, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm really hoping that this weekend I'll get back in the groove of things. I'm trying not to do anything too stressful this weekend. But yeah, adulting has been like it's
Sorry,
the
love.
ghetto, guys. It is the ghetto. It is the
it
ghetto.
is.
It is the
It
ghetto.
is.
I just want to wake up. Like, in fact, I actually said this to Bay on Friday, and I was like, can't I just be waking up and be sleeping, and somebody's just paying me money? I don't need to work. Like, why can't that be
The thing is that as
my
a child,
reality?
you didn't even need someone to pay you money. They just need to take care of everything for you and you just need to try to do your best, honestly. But it's like now you need the money. And interestingly, I also had the same thought of something similar last week where um
Really?
I wasn't feeling too well first
Yeah.
half of the week and I needed to go to work and I knew that I just needed to show up and do the work. And I was just like there would have been a time where I would have faked being sick just because I didn't want to go to
I
school and it
know.
was okay. But now it's like you have to work. It really
Yeah.
doesn't matter
Money must be made.
exactly. Like it's different when you're like so ill and you know that you literally cannot do
Cannot do
anything.
anything.
But that's different from when you know that you need rest, but you're not broken down to the
Down
extent that you can't do
to
work.
do
Do you
work. Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
It's just a very annoying place to be. And I always have a conflict between feeling lazy and feeling exhausted. Like there's some times where I really can't tell the difference between both of them. So I'm like trying to identify different factors and elements that are happening around me that will help me identify if I'm just
If
being
it is
lazy today or
laziness or
I'm
if
just
you just really
exhausted.
need rest.
And sometimes because I'm not able to decipher between both, there are times where I'm actually exhausted and I think that I'm being lazy and I'm exerting myself a lot more than I
More.
should. Right. And then that just leads to, me breaking down and things like this. It's a very difficult place to be, but it's the reality of being
Honestly,
adult.
the adulting is the ghetto. See, if you're listening to us and you're still, first of all, living in your parents' house, um,
Oh
getting
god.
stipend or like monthly allowance for your from your parents, um, please enjoy it as much as you can, because the moment you start to walk and you're doing things on your own, that is like it's just like in my head, I'm just like, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next how many years, God. And I think for me this week even affected me generally, like with the sleep. And I started to, even my I was telling my mom yesterday, I was like, even my phone is telling me to build sleeping. I'm like my like my watch is tracking that I am not sleeping
Sleeping
well,
as much as you
like
should,
I
yeah.
should. And it's affecting other things, like for instance, my vim or energy to go to the gym this week was very low. I
Yo, I
typically,
haven't even gone in a while, and trust me, I'm not even bothered because at
honestly,
this
it
rate,
was, I think this week what I did the most was, because I still wanted to do something, was going for walks.
mm,
The weather
that
is,
I do.
gradually getting a bit warmer. I think Monday would be the official day or start date of spring or something. And so
Finally,
the weather has been
oof.
gradually getting warmer. And then when I mean warmer, I'm like, okay, like maybe like 5 6 degrees. So so
Still
it's
not
not
double
like,
digits. Oh my
no
god,
double
Canada is the
digit.
ghetto.
It's not, we're
Jeez.
not close to double digit. Maybe like, not this new week, because I've seen the forecast for next week and it doesn't look like we're getting to
Ugh.
double digits just yet. But I just decided to myself, like, honestly, from Jan to Feb, I go to the gym about 8 times a week. So
Did you say 8 times?
yeah, 8 times.
How?
So yeah, let me break it down. No, 7, no, 8 times. So on
You know
Mondays
there are
and
7 days in a
Tuesdays,
week.
yes, I know. On
Okay.
Mondays and Tuesdays, I go twice.
Why?
So, let me explain why. The gym closest to my house that I use in the mornings, when I want to go to the gym, they don't have like group classes, so you just go
Oh,
in, you do your thing. And I started attending group classes at the gym I was going to when I was in Ottawa. And there were some classes that, the truth is, when I started them I wasn't a big fan of them, but I started enjoying it. One being a spinning class and the second being a body pump class.
I hate spinning.
Now, I see. I
Hate
promise
it.
you, I was like that until I started going more often, and I now enjoyed it. So I started kind of like complaining late last year that, oh, if not that, the gym club that I could go for that classes is quite far from the house, and
Okay.
Bay goes into the office like twice a week. It won't like fit my schedule with going to the gym. I like the one closer to me because I just walk to the gym. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like, oh my god, I need to drive and whatnot. So Bay was just like, you know what, I'll just add you, because he doesn't go to the one closer to me. He
The
drives
father
down to the
one.
father
Okay.
one, which is the club we used to use in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, you know what, I'll just add you to my own membership, because I cancelled mine. It was like, I'll add you to my membership and you can go for your spinning and
Classes.
other classes any points that you feel like. So I now kind of had a routine. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursday evenings, I go for classes, but I still go in the morning to the one closer to me. I just do my own stuff. So this week it
Kudos
was,
to you, girl.
I mean,
You're a mentor
like
at
I
this
said,
point.
Jan
My
and Feb,
mentor.
I was seriously like on it, but March, I wasn't feeling well the first week. Second week, I was just starting to feel better. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually, like on Monday, I didn't go for the spinning class. Tuesday, I was still gathering my strength. I was just like, no, fam, I'm not going. So I went for body pump on Thursday. But what I decided to do to myself, I was just like, you know what? Even if I don't feel like lifting weights or whatnot, the weather is gradually getting warmer. I've just been going on very long walks, like over an hour. And during the day, I go with my mom as well,
Mm.
like during my
It's
lunch breaks as
nice
well.
just
So
going for walks.
honestly, I'm enjoying it. And I've said to myself, I was like, you know what? If I'm in the phase, and I think I was in this kind of phase around this time last year as well, when I'm in this phase where I don't feel like going into the gym, if I
Mm-hmm.
would go, I would rather it's a class. Like there's someone is saying, oh, do this. And
Mm,
there are other
fair.
people, I would stick to doing just that. And what I've said is, since the weather is getting warmer, I love to run when the weather is warm. From Monday, I'll actually go back to running. I know
Mm.
it's not yet like double digits, but I will just be doing that since I don't necessarily feel that way when I'm running. I feel tired of going to the gym to do my own thing when I go into the gym. But for running, I don't think I feel that tired. I don't necessarily get tired of running. So I think I'll just stick to that and then I'll go for gym classes. But generally speaking, adulting, life has just been lifing. Honestly, it has just been lifing.
I can
It has been
imagine.
lifing. But
Yeah.
anyways, this episode wasn't supposed to be about us
What
rambling
about
about
you?
about me and all my struggles. But it's all good. It's fine. If life is lifing with you and adulthood is adulting with you, put it in the comment section that we are in this together. It's not
We're
only me.
definitely in this together. It's
Yeah.
all right. It's okay.
But today we wanted to talk about the, cancel culture. Everybody can kind of like voicing their opinion about things,
Hmm.
and all of that good stuff. Let me just say, some people might be triggered, some people might not be a fan of whatever we're going to say today, but it is our
Oh Lord.
opinion.
As
Thank you
always,
and God
you know.
bless. Okay. Did you even know exactly like when cancel culture thing kind of like started?
Oh my god,
Like,
it feels like 3, 4 years back. Oh,
I
I
know,
don't even think
right?
it was that far back. I think it must have been just before the pandemic, and then things got heightened during the pandemic, and a lot of us were at home, so things were super sensitive. And I believe that it's always been there, but with the new wave of social media and how much different platforms or number of platforms that are coming up and different activities that people are doing on social media, it's just gaining a lot more attention. And because people are now making a career out
Out
of
of
social media, it's like you need to be more careful of things that you see, and people are like easily triggered or angry or just stay on there to cancel you for whatever it is that you say. So I would say the last 3, 4 years,
I agree.
maybe.
I agree because I don't think it was a thing like way back, but all of a sudden everybody is being woke. Everybody is like, "Oh, if you say this, bam," they'll say, "Oh, I've cancelled that person." Like, like cancel somebody. Okay, fine. I think this topic actually came about. I was listening to was it no, it wasn't. I think the first trigger or that made me think about, you know what, we need to talk about wokeness slash cancel culture was I was having a conversation with someone, and they said to me and they were like, in our generation or nowadays, if someone does something, say
Mm-hmm.
if I travel, if I go to say Italy or
Mm-hmm.
another place, most people travel to experience new culture, try new
Yeah.
food, see
Okay.
how people in a different part of the world live,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. If there is some sort of like, outfit that they wear that is kind of like a cultural thing, I might buy it. I went to Orlando, I bought Disney things when I went because I mean, what's the point of
Is that
going?
really cultural?
It's not cultural, but okay, let me maybe look for say a poncho or what's the other one? I think poncho is a I don't know, Mexican thing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it's
But
more Asian Japan, isn't it?
I don't even know. But anyways, say like the way we have like Ankara. Let me go back home. Where we
Okay.
have like maybe Ankara in Nigeria and in some African countries as well, that African print. If a Caucasian person visits Africa and they were wearing an Ankara print.
Not you
If
saying
I see a
Africa now,
photo,
because that triggers me.
okay, what do I say then that will trigger you?
Nigeria! Be very
Because it's
specific.
not only Nigerians that have African prints. That's
Yeah,
what
but you
I'm
said
trying.
Ankara, you were very specific. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
Ankara, let's not trigger them because they're already saying I'm triggering them now. Okay, say they visit Nigeria and they
Mm-hmm.
buy like an Ankara print and they wear it. If I see a photo of a Caucasian person in an Ankara print and it looks nice on them, I won't have any problem with it. I'll
Okay.
be like, oh, okay, you know what? Oh, they said, oh, this is really nice. This is cool, nice. But I think what now happens nowadays is out of like wokeness. Some people can say, oh, that's inappropriate. It's culturally inappropriate. You shouldn't wear it. And I'm just like, how did we get to this point where we can't wear this one, we can't wear that one? Or like, okay, it's just like saying I'm wearing a top, a blouse, or whatever I'm wearing here. It's like somebody telling me that, oh, that's culturally inappropriate. I should stick to my um Ankara prints only.
So yes, I have a different opinion about this.
Okay.
And
And
I
she
think
shared this with me when I brought up this topic that she said, oh, you know what? I actually have different opinion about some of the things that you're
I
saying.
do. I
Okay,
do.
so
And it stems from the fact that we live in a technology driven world. It's almost impossible for me to have a conversation with someone and for you to say you don't know and not be willing to do basic Google research. It's the same conversations that I have with my students in class when I'm telling them about something and I'm asking you to go find out, and you're on your phone most of the time. Maybe not on Instagram, but definitely on TikTok. Google is just one tab away. You can
mhm.
literally just Google and search and find out. As much as it's a technology driven world that we are, people, and I mean all over the world, this is not even an African or a Nigerian thing. A lot of people are reading less and less.
And people are
There's that,
there are a lot of ignorant people
yeah.
for sure.
There's also that, ignorance. Like you are living in your ignorance and claiming knowledge in your ignorance. And that is the most annoying and the most irritating thing. So sometimes for some of the cancelness that happens, I somewhat get it because the basic
Me,
thing,
I'm waiting for you to reach the point where this whole wearing Ankara, like you're
I'm
seeing a
getting there.
Caucasian person wearing
Yeah,
Ankara.
because the basic thing, this way I'm going, basic thing that you would do, for example, when you're visiting a country, this is something that I do always. I want to visit somewhere new. I do my basic research about the people, the culture, beyond like where I want to stay, beyond the food. I need to know some things. If I were to be going to Saudi, for example, it would be stupid of me to go wear bomb shorts,
Mhm.
V-neck top, and
Do
then
you
say,
know that they've
"Well, I
stopped
didn't
me
know."
before in United Arab Emirates? Actually, not in Dubai. Dubai is like a more like
Liberal city.
liberal
Yeah,
Emirates. Yeah, I was a totally different Emirates, and we went to the mall, and I was wearing a bomb shot. And you guys know how hot it gets in that side of the world.
exactly.
And I was wearing a bomb shot because I could wear a bomb shot in Dubai. And the
Hmm.
funny thing was, before we left the hotel, a bit said to me, was like, "Ah, I don't know if they will be comfortable with you wearing bomb shot." I'm just like, but I wear bomb shots in Dubai now. What should be it? Hey, because the more security actually came to meet me, and we're like, we literally had to leave the mall.
Exactly. So it will be
And I
very
can never forget.
exactly. So it would be very stupid of me to say I
But I
want to
didn't I
visit.
didn't I didn't take offense in it. Like I wasn't being dramatic about it. I was like, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
but this is where it gets more interesting now. So you had gone to the city that you were in UAE, and the outfit that you wore was inappropriate. And then instead of taking the lesson from me and recognizing, probably apologizing to whoever correct, and then say you didn't
Yeah.
know because you probably didn't know and you didn't have time, or
Yeah.
you just assumed that what was
All the
applicable in
Emirates
Dubai,
were the same thing.
say exactly. And then instead of just accepting the fact that you actually messed up, and moved on. But imagine a situation where you're now an influencer, right? And what you were doing at the time was you were on a live video and doing a video of the mall, talking about your outfits. You probably put together like these shorts and these sandals and this, your sunglasses and everything was like outfit of the day. And then
Hmm.
you're in the mall doing a video about everything, and then somebody came to you, and instead of recognizing the fact that you are in a place that prevents you from wearing what you're wearing, you then turn the video to him and then say, okay, look at this person who is being racist, who is being this. I've just come to visit this country. Please tell me why that person shouldn't be cancelled.
Of course. Okay, I get that, but I wouldn't do that because I didn't see it as
Evergreen
racism
is
when
the
it
reason.
happened.
Yeah, but this is just
And I
one
didn't see
example.
and I didn't take offense in it. Like I was like, oh, okay. Like I told this girl, I was like, okay,
Have you
I
seen
didn't
the
know,
reasons why
and
people are being
I
cancelled?
left. And then
I mean,
wait,
obviously, not everything is correct, but for some, I'm like, I actually
if
support
it's
this
yeah, see, if
cancellation.
it is if it's a valid thing, if somebody is claim, I think where my own issue is if in this scenario I clearly didn't, make any boy about it because I understood, like, that's their culture. They
Mm-hmm.
prefer you to be all covered up. And I left the mall, like we didn't get whatever we needed to get. We left the mall and went back to the hotel. And I didn't make it, like, I don't even, I think this is the first time I maybe like saying it out
Mm-hmm.
loud actually. I didn't make a fuss about it. I didn't think they were being racist to me or anything. The funny thing was, I think the person that even spoke to me on that day was actually a black person. But even if it wasn't, I won't have made a big deal out of it. I think my own issue is when people start to say, people start to claim to be woke. Look, so in this instance where you're saying the person that turned the camera to say, see, this person is saying, that person is clearly claiming that they are woke.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm
Exactly.
saying that some wokeness I am not a fan of.
Clearly, and just
Because
some.
to me, I feel like some of them are unnecessary. Like, for instance, and giving this instance again, going back to this example of if I see a Caucasian person wearing
Mm-hmm.
an Ankara outfit,
Mm-hmm.
I won't tell them it's culturally inappropriate if they're not doing anything wrong because they're just wearing an Ankara print. I don't see
Yeah.
why I should, cancel the person or say that, oh, that's culturally inappropriate. That's something that, we wear. There are instances where that would stand and that would make sense. That reason would make
Mm-hmm.
sense. But my issue nowadays is everybody's claiming to be woke. And
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't make sense
I hear you.
at
I
work.
absolutely hear you. But I think while there's that sensitivity with people under the guise of wokeness and people wanting to, gain some form of attention from calling somebody out for doing something, etc. And obviously we would have that disagreement when it comes to things like this. I feel like there are certain things that are under the guise of ignorance that you actually cannot even feign ignorance for. Do you understand what I mean?
I get that.
Let me give you another example. Let me give you an
Okay.
example. Jackie I know, popular influencer, candle CEO
Yeah.
maker, except
Yeah, she's a big
Um,
YouTuber.
exactly, beauty influencer, all of that.
Yeah.
This is someone that has grown a brand over the years, probably more
Yeah.
than a decade. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would understand that. I'll see as somebody that is actually very intelligent and probably has a team of other people that are working with her. I,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that her brand has grown beyond just doing the work alone. She probably has, a PR person, a strategist. She has this team of people that are helping her do the work. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? And that
Yeah.
also goes into the candles that she makes and coming up with different fragrances and for different seasons of the year. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so for her 35th birthday, I believe, she had released this new line of candles to
Right.
celebrate the momentum, and then she had given each one name. One was Owambe, another one was Sorosuke, and she was called out and probably cancelled for that. What do you have to say about that? Now, this is
Mm.
somebody that lives in the US but is clearly Nigerian and openly talks about how much she likes Nigeria and is very Nigerian, etc. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, I think maybe yeah, she
Should she
shouldn't
have been
have.
cancelled for that? Should she have been called out for that? Was she in the wrong? Was she in the right? What do you have to say about that?
So maybe the way I see it, like, and this is my view on this
Mm-hmm.
particular social case, yes, people should have called her out and say, and I think yes, people did that, and I think the truth is I didn't read so much about the story, but I think people called her out, and she, wrote out and said, oh, she's sorry.
Yeah.
For as a Nigerian, whether you are in Nigeria or you weren't in Nigeria, everybody cannot, and it's one of the examples of saying you can't claim that you didn't know. Like, it was out there, everybody was talking about, like, it was online
Thank you.
about where this word source, okay, like where it started from. It was associated with something that happened in Nigeria, and it wasn't like it was a good thing that
Yeah, it was the
happened.
fact that there was police brutality,
Yeah,
people
there
were
was
being
police, people
killed.
were
Yes,
killed and all
youth
of
were
that.
standing up for their rights. It was.
And you
This was
now decide to
also
say you want to make money
from
off of
it.
that thing.
Do you understand?
Clearly, that doesn't make sense. But I think what
But
I
this is where, sorry to cut you. This is where I'm even more angry about it. And I'm not going to talk about it because she's come up with an apology and we've moved on from that. But
see
before we get there,
what you just said is what was where I was going to end. I think
but
for me,
wait, I'm
okay, let
sorry, I
me
just had to say this just before we go on. But for me, about that situation was, if she was cancelled, I would have been okay with it, even after the apology. And I say this because this is someone that has built a brand over the years. Like, you clearly cannot feign ignorance. For heaven's sake, you're also Nigerian. In what world would your PR person, your strategist, would have thought that it was okay? It's just like saying that I'm coming up with a brand name for something and I'm using George Floyd and thinking, oh, but that's okay.
see, for me, like I said, she shouldn't have. And when people call that out, I don't see, I think for me, I don't have any problem with people calling people out. My problem is, let's be reasonable when we're calling. Like, if you're calling people out for outrightly doing something that doesn't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is okay. But at the other part as well, I want everybody to also know that we need to sometimes be able to give grace to people because we're all not perfect. Like
Absolutely.
in this
Yeah.
Jackie situation, she came out, she
Mm-hmm.
apologized and
And
all
she
of that,
withdrew.
and she
Yes.
withdrew that line. For
Yes.
me, that's fine.
Yeah.
Will I continue to say everything she says? I'm going to hold it, and maybe I'm not even that type of person like that. That I put people on, a certain
Pedestal.
high standard.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, she did the right thing by writing an apology and withdrawing me back, and that's fine. That's the grace
Yeah.
I'm going to give to her.
Yes. Yes.
But that I will continue to now speak about it, continue to drag her
Okay. I see your
afterwards.
points
For
there.
me, it
Okay.
doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Absolutely.
She's come out,
Absolutely.
she's apologized, she's withdrawn
Mm-hmm.
the candle line. Can we all move on?
I hear
That
you.
is me. That is my
I
own
think
stance.
that's why we
But
need
a
to
lot
do
of
things
people,
differently. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like for people nowadays, everybody hides behind their keyboard at home on their phone where they know there's nobody seeing them.
Mm,
I can say
mm.
anything I want to say. Come and beat me.
True.
I'm in my house.
True.
We sometimes forget that who these people were speaking to, they're humans as well.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if this person accepts that they've done something wrong and
Absolutely.
they apologize and you can see that they've made an effort to do better,
Retrace your steps. Yes.
let's just give them some grace because the truth is
I
we
agree with
are
that.
all not perfect. That's
Mm-hmm.
just my own stance. I don't have any problem with calling people out if they do something silly. If they have done something
Mm-hmm.
silly, call them out. If they decide not to do better and they are sticking to their stance, absolutely cancel them.
Yes. So I think that's where I am very not against the cancel culture, in terms of, it's a way for people to be more knowledgeable about things that they are ignorant about.
About
So for example, if we didn't have the cancel culture in that sense, that line would have gone off,
yeah,
taken off, and people will probably be hurt by it, because how is a Sorosoke candle to begin with supposed to smell like blood? I don't know. But she's apologized, we drawn the line, we've moved on. I think that's where, for me, I have like, I can't have like a final stance on cancel. I think, we all make mistakes, right? We're all ignorant to certain things, but unfortunately, I don't believe that in all instances we can feign ignorance. So let me tell you that something that often happens. You have the people that, and I hate this so much, and it pains me, especially when it's coming from when coming from a black person. You're talking about the states, and you're talking about California, you're talking about Washington, and then you're talking about Africa. Like, Africa is supposed to be, I don't know, a country. That is very
that one,
stupid.
I always find it so irritating when somebody says, "Oh, you're from Africa." Yeah, yeah, but you know that Africa is like
A
A whole
continent.
continent. Like there are several countries in Africa. You know
You
that, right?
get.
Okay, cool. Fine.
Yeah. And I think we need to start to speak up to certain things. And I know when it comes to comments, there are people that sit there and all they have to do is to speak evil and, write rubbish. There are certain ways for you to correct somebody, be constructive about it, show empathy as well. But I think it's not even beyond showing empathy. You need to, when you're correcting somebody about a wrong that you've done, you need to provide proof, evidence, information that will become knowledgeable to them for them to realize that what they've done is wrong. Someone has done the Africa thing, and I found that, I'm sorry to call this out, but a lot of white people unfortunately do not know their geography so well. So there's this common trend of them associating everything. Like they don't even know what continent their country is. I'm sorry, but that's the reality of
You know, it's
things.
very angry.
Right. And so find myself in that situation. What I have to do is to teach you, as basic as it is, just teach you so you know. And hopefully next time when someone asks you, you don't feign the dumb blonde narrative and act like you still don't know. I hope that you answer appropriately and you should already know. So that's why for me the cancel thing needs to stay there, but then it needs to be
But
used
the thing
more
is, I've never
appropriately.
like I don't think my stance has ever been let people not cancel people. No. My stance has always been let let people are bound to make
Maybe
mistakes.
cancel is the
When
wrong
people
word.
yeah, like I already even said it earlier and I was like, see, if if someone does something wrong, someone very influential, somebody very out there does something wrong, people should call them out, tell them what they're doing wrong, you know? If they do research, they listen to what you say, they do research and find out that I was actually doing something wrong, and they come out. Fine, it's up to them if they decide not to come out to like publicly apologize or not. But if they decide to take it, like start to live a new life out of that, and they don't continue in that train, let's give them grace. That's my own. But if they
Yeah.
don't, and from that same statement they continue and they're saying more derogatory things, more things that are
Or still
wrong and
feigning
all of that,
ignorance, like
or feeling like they
Governor
still
Jide
don't know,
Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State. Governor,
then
yes, you should be
it's
cancelled.
okay to cancel them. My own is yes, you've clearly given them grace by trying to educate them, trying to say things to them or whatnot, and they're refusing to change their
Yeah.
stance. Then it's fine to cancel.
Yeah, I
I
fully
am just
support that
like
cancel in that era,
I'm just
yes.
like, let's try to give people grace because we all need grace. And my problem with people forming wokeness is
Mm-hmm.
something happened at work. I remember, I think it was Halloween. I mean, I've never celebrated Halloween, even though I've been here for God knows how many years. But I remember that someone at work wore this or Rasta outfit. Like I don't know what they call it, so I don't want to call it the wrong thing. But it's
Okay.
usually
I
like
know
a
what you're talking about.
green, like
Yellow and
red.
red.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Yeah.
knitted, something like that. And that was what
Mm-hmm.
this person was wearing, and he was speaking. And when I saw it, I didn't have any problem with it. And I don't like, maybe again, I'm not Caribbean, so
But what is Halloween
maybe
about?
Halloween is about people dressing up, wearing costume. Yeah, I don't know. There's more to it, but at least that's what I've seen. A lot of people, you just dress up
Because it
in.
gives me like ghost vibes.
Yeah, you've not seen people's Halloween decor. They have like, skeleton and all of that, yeah, and all of that. But part of it is people dressing up, in a different in someone else's character,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. And eventually later on, this person came up to speak, and they were not wearing their Rasta type of like outfit anymore, and they publicly said, well, I apologize if anybody might have taken my outfit as culturally inappropriate. And I was just like, hey, somebody cannot even wear clothes again. And that's where that was where I came up with the premise of, if I see a Caucasian person wearing an Ankara print, or a Caucasian person braid their hair the way we braid our hair, I don't think I'll necessarily scream, why are you doing that? That's only meant for us or whatnot,
I don't
or
think I
don't
don't think
wear.
this context about them wearing a, am I right to assume, a Jamaican outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah. was about somebody else of a different culture wearing it. I think it was more tied to the event. And I confidently can't speak about it because I probably need to do a lot more research about Halloween, the origin, the costume before I can speak about this. But if after doing my research I find out that the outfit was actually inappropriate for it, I
Then
understand
then
why.
fine.
I understand
Then
because
fine.
this is my point still. My point still comes to the fact that we all keep taking all these decisions when we have it's just a good, like I literally can spend the next, I don't know, 5-10 minutes reading about something and I'm more knowledgeable than that person just because I went on Google. Google, we all have internet, we all have our phones. We cannot continue to feign ignorance to say we
But the
cannot.
truth is we cannot know everything.
Nobody said, like I said, I can't speak about Halloween now because I haven't done my research.
Exactly.
But however,
But if you
however,
read it, if you read about it now you know about Halloween. But there's still going to be things that you won't know. And if
I
you do it,
get you.
the
I
only way
get you.
you would
But
know
the
more
things that
about
are
it is
the thing
if someone brings it up and say, "Oh, and you know this thing that you did, you might not know, but it's actually not right." It's just the same way. Before I moved to Canada, I know that part of things we I don't know if you've heard it before, but I know people joke around and say, oh, like if you wear too much of like if you're overly dressed, they might say, oh, you're dressed like an Eskimo or something back in Nigeria.
right.
But it's actually derogatory. And I didn't know until I moved here that you shouldn't be saying things like that. So when I was in Nigeria, a lot of people joke about it. And I didn't know until I moved to where it's actually not right to say.
Let me
So
okay. So
it's okay not to know. I see. I want to say like I feel like it's okay not to know everything. You can't know
nobody can know
everything.
everything.
But
But
if it's brought to your notice that this thing is wrong, read about it. Why did they say it's wrong? And learn about it and make your decision about
you know that
going
some
forward.
things are implicit, some things are explicit, some things are just in your face. Like it's so what's the word that I'm looking for? It's just right there in your face that you almost cannot hide not knowing. There are some things that are hidden and it's not put out there. It's like it's not very well known. It's not in your face. I'm trying to find the right word for it, but I just can't. And so you probably need to have a little bit more guidance in that. And I understand why people would make some mistakes in that area. Evergreen. I'm sorry, but I'm going to disagree about the Jamaican outfit for Halloween. If I'm coming up with a costume for Halloween that I never did in my culture, because in Halloween Nigeria, let's be honest, we're talking about evil spirits. There's nobody that is wanting to do that in Nigeria to start with.
But they are trying to do it now.
Well.
In
And
Nigeria, they're trying
so
to do it now.
I've now moved to the UK, and as an adult, I just didn't feel the compulsion to celebrate that way because it's not really my vibe. I don't really
Yeah.
mix with that. And then I have a child that is having to go to school and is now needing to celebrate Halloween with his or our classmates. I wouldn't immediately think, "Ah, why not we Agbada? Abi now, it's a costume show." I'm sorry, but the first thing I will do is go and find out, okay, what kind of outfit would anyone wear for Halloween? Simple. And in doing that, I find XYZ of, okay, what's right, what's not right. Because as a parent, let's be honest, you probably wouldn't want your child to be standing out looking like the odd one out. So you probably want to do your own research to find out if, it fits well and then you get. So it'll be very difficult for me as a parent to put my child in a Jamaican outfit just because it's Halloween. Because I need to do my research. So for this person, right, they've been called out, they've been corrected. But that's a mistake that I'm sorry shouldn't have happened. I'm
I could
sorry.
honestly speaking, that could have been me.
I'm sorry. I
Oh,
just I
I'm
just
not
I
even
don't
kidding.
agree on that. Like
That could have been me.
I
If I
just
don't
don't.
know, I don't know.
Yeah, but you
The
can't
truth
claim
is,
to not know and be going for an event and not even do. It's just like saying that you want to go to Morocco, right? And then you don't even know what food they eat. You don't know what currency they spend there. Why are you going? Why are you going? That's
the
my
reason
stand
why
on this.
the reason why I say that could be me is I see people wear different things during Halloween, and they're like I've seen people wear ridiculous things. I've seen people wear, I don't know, very strange things when I was in school, all in the name of Halloween. Right? For me, if the person that spoken to him about him wearing a Jamaican outfit had been a Jamaican that told him that this is wrong, I would be like, oh, okay, this is, fine. And
I
then I'll
actually
do
disagree on
extra,
that.
and I would have done extra research. But to me, if there's nothing out there that I've said, I think after this recording, I'll actually check if it is wrong to wear someone else's cultural clothes
I
as
will as
Halloween.
well.
And
I
if it
will
is
as well.
not, then whoever said that said it for themselves. Because the truth is, if someone had worn Ankara for Halloween, I wouldn't have been upset about it. I wouldn't even have said, "Oh, why are you wearing Ankara?" I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had any problem with it.
Let me ask you another question in light of this Ankara type situation. So there's a common thing that happens when a non-black person goes to Africa and then, or I mean any part of Africa, maybe Kenya, Nairobi, wherever, and then they take a picture with kids that are in need and are probably living in poverty, and then they post it as an indication of having gone to that part of Africa. What do you have to say about that?
Why do you have to take pictures with people that I need?
Why
Why
is
do I
that a
take
problem?
people like why? Like is it different like are there no other tourist attraction? Like are there no other places that you've been to? Why does it have to be the one where the children are sad or they look malnourished or whatnot that
It's
you
just,
decided to post?
you just caught my attention. You just caught my attention when I went. Then I thought that was unique.
It's a different thing if the person took the photo and they're saying, okay, they're starting
They are not
a
starting anything. I would have said they are not
I
starting
see
anything.
exactly what I'm saying because posting a photo, if you're posting a photo saying you're starting a community to raise funds and whatnot, I don't
No,
think I won't have any problem with that.
no, they just
But
posted a photo of having gone to Kenya.
that's why I said I have a problem with it.
Why?
If you because that's not the only thing in Africa. That's not the only thing that we're known for. Like there are other things, there are other places you could have visited in Kenya. Why does it have to be that one?
Do you see how somebody else may not see an issue with that and you are seeing an issue with it? But actually, there's something fundamentally wrong with that and everything around it.
See, and I think I've said my point. Like I feel like that is wrong. You could have visited other places if you again, and that's why I said the reasoning behind the posting of that photo is what would determine to me if it's wrong or not. If
Yeah,
it
but this
is,
person can film like they really don't know. They just thought it was nice. They really didn't know. It was just a nice picture. Nothing there.
yeah, but people can come out to tell them to say this is wrong, and if they decide to take down the photo out of that, that is fine.
Exactly. So my point is just the
And that's
same
what I'm
way.
saying. That it
It's just
is
the same way somebody else walked to your colleague or whoever was wearing the outfit and then told them it was. So I think, like I said earlier, when it comes to correcting somebody for doing something that is culturally inappropriate, the right thing for me is you speak from a point of fact, from a point of figures, from a point of history, and provide this information. X, Y.
exactly.
Were you part of? Were you sure that that person did not provide that information to that other colleague that was wearing it?
I don't know. And I'm not claiming that I know.
Okay.
I don't know what conversation they had. And that's why I said maybe after this, I need to check. Because for me, if it's not culturally inappropriate, then there's no, because this is
How do
what
you
I'm saying
determine when
about,
it's culturally inappropriate and when it's not?
that is what I'm saying. I'm going to check after this conversation. Like after this conversation, I'm going to check about it. My problem with being woke is everybody feeling they know, but they don't really know.
But how do you
And
know
not
that they don't
giving
really know?
and sometimes not giving grace and honestly for me it's also about how everybody is so um everybody is on their phone quickly. You're very quick to say to insult other people. I'm
So
fine with
no.
correcting
No.
people, but
Yes,
we
correcting
don't
people
have to
doesn't
be
have to.
negative. You don't have to be you don't have to insult the person because you're correcting them.
Yeah, I mean,
You can
if
tell
we,
somebody that this is not the right way to do this without
yes,
necessarily saying you're stupid or
of
yeah
course.
you're an idiot.
I think that's going to the extreme. If we're talking about, let me, in my own
What are
opinion,
you
what
saying?
can't,
Have you seen people's
where,
comments online?
yeah, I hear you. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but like I'm saying that we can't use that as a benchmark because obviously those extremists will always be there. Will
Honestly, these
always
are
be
my
there.
stance. Correct people, give them grace. If they decide not to change, cancel them. When you're correcting people, Don't be
Carry them with
negative
grace.
about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct them with grace, correct them with facts, educate them because they
Mm-hmm.
just might not know.
Yeah.
Some things shaped me, shaped you because of our upbringing, where we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, not everybody grew up there. There's some things that they genuinely might not know. To me, it might be like, seriously, you really don't know? Like, you really don't know? Okay, cool, fine. But I will try. I will judge you in my mind and ask God for forgiveness.
Yeah, like I said,
And
there's some things that are
I will tell you what needs to be changed. That's
see,
all.
that's my point. See, well, I actually was saying the same thing. We're just going at it at different different angles. The fact is that people don't know everything. I'm just, in addition to everything I said, emphasizing on the fact that there are certain things that unfortunately people can't feel ignorance to, and I won't accept ignorance as an excuse for doing XYZ. You can't, for example, be asking me if there are lions in my backyard just because I grew up in Nigeria. Like, you can't even tell me that you are that. See. Even you can't even. Do you know how why you can't even tell me? You probably watch football. You probably know what's happening in the. You know what I mean, except you can't even. I can't even take that one. Like, cancel straight up. Moving
So if
on.
somebody so no, if somebody said to you, so do you have animals in your house where you grew up? What would be your response back to them?
Go and do your research. Simple.
Did you put see in your last face? I hope that this video where you see you are seeing our face.
Some things that are so explicit that you cannot even tell me that you don't know. You don't know.
I think I won't be if it was me. I don't think I would like go like I would most likely be like, really? Excuse me. Do you know first of all, like I'm not a fan of when people just generally just assume that if you're black, you're just from Africa. Like they don't want to accept that there are countries in Africa. They assume that all of us. I know the one that is always killing me is when people are like, oh, I know someone from Africa as well. Do you know? Do you excuse me? Do you know everybody in Canada because
Do
you're
you
Canadian?
understand? Do you
Do
know
you
how
know everybody
stupid
here?
that is?
But I'll most of the time I'm just my response is just gonna be like, Africa is a continent. There's so many
Imagine in
countries in
this day
Africa.
and age, with how much popularity Afrobeat has gotten, imagine Thames being on the red carpet and then speaking to
Let's even speak on this topic of Thames outfits.
wait.
This
And then
topic of
speaking,
Thames outfit.
wait before you get there. And then speaking to somebody and an interviewer on the red carpet, and the person is asking, oh, hi, Thames, you've come so far, your music has gotten this global recognition. How was it like growing up, probably having animals around and not having like people to interact with? Are you going to tell me that that person did not know? If as Thames, she doesn't walk away from that interview.
Some people obviously they are racist. Obviously, some people say derogatory things not because they don't know, because they actually
So
mean
you see why this kind
evil.
of people should be cancelled.
I ever say we shouldn't cancel people? I never said we shouldn't cancel people. I've said it multiple times. I'm like, I'm not against counseling. I am more of you've said something wrong. This is what is right. Say it. I'm not in a
Evergreen, I'm
insultive way.
sorry, oh. And I know that honestly, like guys, I'm not even like someone that keeps people in mind, to be honest. I'm actually not that. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm actually telling you this, right? If I was teams on that red carpet and a person asked me that very stupid question, and whether maybe the network provider called them out or their boss called them and they brought out this apology, I'm sorry, they still need to be cancelled. That one is beyond grace. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Because what kind of ignore? See, that's my stand. There are some people that
Anyways,
need to be
moving
cancelled,
on to
cancelled.
lighter gist. What was your take on terms of me as a Nigerian Yoruba babe? I was proud of that outfit.
No, she really came through. She
I
came
was like,
correct.
this is nice. Do you
She
know?
came
In fact,
correct.
somebody was trying to. I think the following day, someone was talking to me about it. And we were like, oh, that's how Thames is trending because of our outfit. I said, you know
Good
what's
for
gonna
her.
happen with that? A
Good
lot
for
more
her.
people are going to listen to our music. A lot more
Good
people are
for
going to
her.
research her
That's the
and
way
know
to
more
go.
about her.
That's the way to go.
That was what I said. I said
The
this
year
will
that
have
I don't know if it was Met Gala, Lady Gaga was inside egg. What happened? Okay.
me. I and if anybody likes it, she says that I'm biased. Yes, on this one, I'm going to be biased. I am Nigerian. I am Yoruba. And she is, and she looked like she looked great in it. I'm like, to me,
And
I'm
the
like, she's
color.
even
Oh,
repping it. The color was so nice on her
mm,
skin. I'm like, please, 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 like
please.
everybody. Imagine, and what I said to myself was, if he was somebody, if he was a Caucasian person, this is
Yeah,
not what we'll be
Queen Mother
hearing.
Beyonce. Yeah, I think there's been one of the events where she wore
Everybody's going
this
to be
art.
screaming.
Where
Everybody's
she
going to be
wore this
screaming,
art.
amazing, phenomenal.
And she, that she will see it nowhere else but on the front row.
I'm like, everybody should just relax and be fine. They will
I
be
think
all right.
about the situation, the most annoying thing and everything, and this is the issue that I have the most about situations like this and trying to correct people about cultural appropriateness and trying to is the fact that you had a lot more, in my opinion. I mean, there were few white people. Sorry, that are writing things that about the outfit, but it's your fellow Nigerians, the fellow ones that are writing about how it's the first time there and she's covering people at the back. You
Excuse me.
why
They
aren't
have
you
to
there?
know that I was there.
No, why aren't they there themselves? Do you
They have
understand?
to know
Like,
that I was there. Me that I'm
I'm
even
just done.
extra. You can imagine that if
I
me
like the
that I'm extra,
facial
you people will
expression she
know.
was giving. She was really giving. She was
You
really giving.
people will know. Please,
So,
times looked great. Let
hmm
everybody rest. Let everybody
honestly.
rest.
Hmm
I'm be fine. Anyways,
Anyways.
um, on the topic of wokeness, culture, cancel culture, and all of that, my stance remains the same. If someone does something wrong, let them know they've done something wrong.
hmm
If they stick to the path of sticking to their wrong behavior, cancel them.
Exactly.
If they change their ways, give them some grace. Like, and when I say give grace, I'm not saying you have to continue to listen to what that person say. Maybe because I've never been one of those people that put people on a high standard. If you decide that your way of giving them grace is letting them be, don't say anything about them, you don't want to listen to anything they say anymore, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just move on. Leave however grace means to you, in the
I
sense that
accept.
you're not overflogging the issue after they've already accepted that they've done something wrong. That's fine. There are a lot of people that may most likely unfollowed Jackiana when that happened.
Yeah.
That's fine. If that's what will give you peace of mind,
hmm
it's
I
fine.
agree to that, and I'm also of the opinion
And it's
that if
fine.
you're a public figure and there are a lot of people that follow you and you probably influence a lot of people, there are certain things that you can't feign ignorance for. And I'm sorry, one blunder is enough to cancel you,
And
irrespective
that's
of
on
your
period.
apology.
She has said what she said. Ha!
Hmm
Before we go, there's actually something on a lighter note. I
Okay.
said I was going to share this on the podcast. If you listen to the Receipts podcast, shout out to you guys and shout out to the ladies of the Receipts podcast. But I was listening to 2 episodes ago actually,
hmm
and part of part of people that wrote in about how they were dating someone who didn't like to call them sweet names,
Endearing
like they
names.
endearing names, they call them by their name. And
Okay.
when they were reading this, the first thing I said was and you're like in the same group chat with this
hmm
person,
hmm
because Eniola is team, but your name is Temitayo. Why should I call
hmm
you something else?
Yeah.
But I am in the group chat of people that once I they say I have been calling me. Why just call me, like, if you even call me green or evergreen? After I was like, I'll be looking at you like it's a different if you were talking about, like, maybe you're not talking to me or referring to me, but you're referring to me, but you're speaking to somebody else and you want to mention me. Like, okay, if I was talking about Bay now, sometimes I might not use Bay, I might
The fact
just
that you're
use
saying
his
babe,
name.
babe was so 2000, but okay, continue, girl.
Whatever. That's my own. That is my own. So
Okay.
if I was talking about him and I go and I say, oh, I go by his name, that's fine. But if I'm trying to call him and I'm not calling his name, like, I feel like that means there's like something wrong.
Sis, whatever fills your cup.
What now even happened in this person's right, the question they wrote out was, she is in my group chat clearly,
Okay.
and then one night she was just like, okay, good night, peanut head, like, and blah blah blah, blah. This bros took it personal. This bros was upset. The following morning, like, this bros just say, they actually found calling people, like, names other than their names to be very rude. It's
Sorry,
a
let me get the
cause.
context well. So she was calling him peanut head, right?
Peanut head.
And he doesn't like to
Mm,
be called that.
yes.
Is that the issue?
He
But he
doesn't like
calls
endearment. He doesn't like call like she calls her by her name, and that's it. Don't call me anything. Don't call me names. And again, the guy eventually explained to her that growing up, my parents weren't calling themselves any endearment name. So that's what I grew up seeing. I find it to be rude. I find it to be it could lead to bullying. And like when I was listening to that part, I'm like, Uncle Small play. Okay, fine. Clearly, for me, they are not compatible because boy,
they
you
are
should go and
not.
look for the person that
They are
is
not.
also on the same group chat with
That's
him.
just one tip of the very big iceberg that you have to still eat in the
For
future.
me, that was what I took away. I was just like, you guys are not
No, it's not.
compatible. You should just look for people that are in the same type of group chat as you,
See, at the end of
and you'll
the
be
day, I
fine.
mean, no, I digress from today's stuff, but the fact is that when you're in a relationship, there's certain things that generally would not work for you, but will make your partner happy, and then
Happy.
you end up doing it because it makes them happy, and just because you love them, you want to do it. Do you understand? If
Mm.
the meantime you had an issue with me calling him that, I'll be calling him something else. Do you understand? We'll find a middle ground that works for everybody, and everybody will be fine.
Maybe you would have been doing Tammy. He still sounds like an endearment, and he's
You
still part of his
get,
name.
but he actually is not bothered, and it's perfect for me. So we're all right, we're happy, moving on. But do you understand? But if I'm with somebody that is outwardly going out of their way to do things that are displeasing to me because you're trying to teach me a lesson because you said that's how you
No,
grew up.
that wasn't so.
No, no, because
Well, for the
yeah, or because you say that's how you grew up. But there's certain things that I also learned that I
grew up
while
too, and
growing
I'm
that I'm
growing up,
having
and
to
I'm like,
let
I'm
go.
not doing it.
Do
Like
you
he's not. He's
understand?
actually not. But this bros was like, hey, that's not how I grew up.
She has not found
Bullying.
husband though.
As I continue, I say,
She has
bros,
not found husband. She should
this is
move
this is
forward.
a big compatibility issue where you we should go
Is that kind
your.
of person now that will say that when he grew
And
up,
do you
all
know
he
that the
saw
funny
was that his father was the one that was responsible for his home
and you know
and his
the
mom was a
worst part.
homemaker.
The worst part was this guy said, and when we have kids, please don't call. Like this is not going to be applicable. We're not going to be calling our kids, any name. We'll call them by their name.
Hashtag red flags.
When I read that, when I listened to that, and I'm like, but I still even talking me and you have already taken it up to say,
These are
when
what
we
we're
have kids.
saying.
I'm like, deep in my head, deep are not
This
compatible. People should go
red flag
your
does not have to
ways.
mean that is insulting you. This right here is a very, very
And I
big,
walk, oh,
shiny,
let's
bright
be
red flag.
small
Please
play.
run, run. It will get worse. Run.
Well, anyways, I feel this was a deep episode. If anybody was triggered, you people should also do better. If you're already getting triggered at the fact that you're doing something wrong and you don't want people to correct you, you are part of the problem. You are definitely part of the problem. And let's also try our best. When we read things, let's actually do our own research about them to learn more about it and all of that good
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, don't forget to like, share,
Share, subscribe.
subscribe, and drop comment about your view on council culture and
Yes,
being woke.
wokeness.
All right, take care everyone and have a great rest of your day.
See you in the next episode.
Oh yeah, see you next episode.
Bye.